The graphic novel I'm going to be analyzing today is Nimona. It is written and illustrated by Noelle Stevenson and published by Harper Teen. It's about 266 pages long, and when we start here, Act 1 goes on from page 1 until about page 52. At this point, we've established who all of our characters are, what their purpose is, and what their goal is. So we have Ballister as our main character, and he is a supervillain, and he takes on Nimona as a sidekick. She is a young shapeshifter and has a lot of great ideas to help out his supervillain image. Then we are also introduced to Ambrosius Goldenloin, this nice blonde gentleman here, who is like our main antagonist for Ballister. He and Ballister used to be really great friends, and then blew Ballister's arm off, and that kind of dampened their friendship a little bit. So from there, we also get introduced to the director of the Law Enforcement and Heroics. She is like our main antagonist, kind of behind the scenes antagonist. And we also establish Ballister's goal of wanting to take down the institution, and because they are corrupt and he just doesn't feel like they're good for the people. So at the heart of it is Ballister's story because it is his goal that we're trying to achieve here, and Act 2 does help support that a lot because Act 2 goes on for quite some time. It goes on from about page 53 to 248, and through this we get a lot of physical conflict between the institution and Nimona and Ballister, and then we have some internal conflict with Nimona battling with herself and Ballister and Ambrose just kind of dealing with their past. But the way that it ends is really nice because it's like not only does Ballister achieve his goal, but we also get some closure with like Nimona and Goldenloin, and everyone kind of comes like full circle here. Um, so the character arcs are really great. I feel like the resolution of the whole thing was really satisfying, and it gave me a really great feeling like ending it, that I didn't feel like I was left, with unanswered questions or anything like that. I feel like a lot of the characters have really, really great story arcs, but I think Goldenloin's story arc is my favorite. So he starts out as this guy who, used to be best friends with the supervillain, and when they're pitted against each other, when they're kind of like training, um, Goldenloin blows Ballister's arm off, and he always insisted that it was an accident, and everyone always believed him because they couldn't prove that it wasn't. Finally, he admits that it wasn't to Ballister, and it really gives Ballister some closure, and it helps him kind of realize that he's not perfect and that he has done some wrong in his life, and he's willing to kind of make up for that now, and he ends up joining up with Ballister and helping him with his goal as well. As far as transitions go for this graphic novel, I feel like Stevenson does a really great job of using a lot of action to action transitions. That is mainly what's going on in this entire thing. Not only is there fighting, but then there's shape shifting, and the characters are always doing something in these panels. We also have quite a few scene to scene transitions where we pop into flashbacks either for Nimona's past or Ballister's past or Goldenloin's past. So that happens a couple times throughout the novel. So we have some of those transition panels here. And then we have a couple of subject to subject ones. So for example, like Ballister and Nimona will be looking at evil plans, and then in the next panel it'll like zoom in on those plans. So I think that's a decent use of the subject to subject transition. I think they are very effective. I think for especially like the action one, since it's throughout the entire graphic novel, I don't think it would be necessarily so obvious to someone reading this for like in their leisurely time. But if you're analyzing it and as a student you do realize these things, I do think that the story does a good job of using the page as a mini comic as well. I guess the only thing I feel like it does fall a little short on is really establishing the setting very clearly. But I mean, we only have a couple settings that we go through. We're either in Ballister's lair, we're in the main city, or we are in like a institution headquarters building. So it's pretty easy to see where we are, but it doesn't have to, it's not obviously set up like how they discuss it in some of our lectures. I do feel like she also makes a great use of directional flow. She does a really good job of not overloading the page with a whole bunch of stuff, so that way it's hard to follow. You know where your eye's supposed to be. You can, work on going through the book without having much trouble at all. I would absolutely recommend this to any classmates or peers. It tackles a lot of mature subject matter without a lot of graphic or mature content. It is really endearing. It's really, really cute. It, like I said, it's like a really adorable V for Vendetta story, which is interesting. But it's really well done. It has, a great message that's getting across. It has a lot of themes of morality and doing the right thing, even though you might not be perceived as a great person. One thing I thought was really cool about this, and I'm really looking forward to it now, is it did start out as a web comic and then it grew into a graphic novel, and it's actually being adapted into a feature length animated film that should be out March 2021. So I will definitely probably be purchasing my ticket to that whenever I can. But thank you for listening to my analysis. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it.